So cowboy up and get ready to race. 95 laps on one of America's most unique road race courses. Welcome to the DuraMax Texas Grand Prix on Fox, presented by Toyota.
Circuit of the Americas, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome Chief Executive Officer at RelaDyne, Eric Rice.
All right now, Austin, on behalf of DuraMax, RelaDyne, it's my honor to say, drivers, start your engine!
All right, around turn 20, we're going to climb 134 feet up to turn 1. Green flag. Wide at the front. Chase Briscoe swung really wide in turn 1, but all that did was just clear him the lane. He's your leader.
Yeah, well, there's not a better sight, but here's the section that gets really tricky to run side by side. You see one car right there in the back wants to get around that pylon. That looks like AJ Allmendinger right there. If you miss the racetrack, the penalty is not worth it.
Wheel lock up.
That was actually Ty Dillon in the 10.
Tyler's going to push hard to try to gain that track position, that clean air that he gave up at the top of the hill. Him and Chastain got high, opened the door up for Briscoe to thank you very much. Drive right around him on the bottom. We see that a lot up there.
And we're seeing all these guys be really aggressive right now, trying to make passes while the cars are all bunched together before they get strung out. And talk about Ross Chastain right here. He's a previous winner. We know that he can get the job done here at COTA.
Crossover move by Reddick, trying to take it back, but here we go into that dangerous area to pass.
Let's not forget about yesterday when we saw these Toyotas take off. They didn't have a lot of takeoff speed.
Yes,
and you know, we're seeing Tyler struggle a little bit right now. He's got the track position, so he has the ability to not lose many spots and get himself buried. But that car was very good on the long runs yesterday.
And slow. To your point, if anybody was a little bit off on a short run, it was the 45.
After that,
we're watching Van Gisbergen right there in front of AJ Allmendinger and the 24 William Byron, up 4 positions already.
And he doesn't want to lose sight of these leaders. He wants to try to get there as quick as he can to maintain himself in sight with that lead pack.
To learn from Shane Van Gisbergen, his teammate, and he proved it by qualifying outside pole here. Well, Briscoe, to me, is a surprise. The last time we were here, he finished 6th, and that's his only top 10 finish at COTA. But here he is, driving away.
That was in qualifying. He was like 26 or something in practice, way back. Where's he at? Where's he at? Boom, got a big qualifying lap. Now he's in the lead in that clean air that we know is so important.
Blaney to the inside of Reddick. This is for 3rd. Blaney has paced the Fords all weekend long here.
And you see right there, he's just able to keep his car a little bit tighter and able to keep everything tidied up because of the way that his car is turning.
And we'll show you Ryan Blaney's real results at COTA, sponsored by Chipotle.
Getting back to a track that he's able to have some experience on. Going to get into the 60 car, Brian Prix right there. Really late into the brakes. That's going to take a little momentum away from him right here and allow Ty Dillon to have an opportunity to get to the inside.
Battling hard here for 27th. Ford Racing Cam on board Ryan Prix.
Yeah,
getting a little bump and thump.
A lot of contact right there. Well, that 19 curve has what we call a hot dog curve, and you actually want to split that curve, so you want to be all the way over to the left right there so that it doesn't bounce and get you too wide on exit.
That's my point, though. The 60, looking at the inside again. 60 was protected through there, and that's why he was offline. And again, you can just see how much better that car is turning. Finally, if he holds on right here, he's going to have the upper hand in the next corner. There it is.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, Briscoe knows how much better he is and gave him plenty of room to be able to finish that pass.
Clear by 1, clear by 2.
Maybe you can learn something while you can still see him.
better learn quick.
So Blaney goes to the lead for Ford. Briscoe's Toyota second. Chastain's Chevrolet is third. A little further back, Shane Van Gisbergen has climbed to sixth right now, and he has the Xfinity fastest lap of the race, which...
As you look on from the Trimble cam right here from Chris Buescher, this guy, he's actually been the most consistent road racer.
Jamie?
And the countdown as he comes to a stop. No changes here. Obviously the car very good for Ryan Blaney. They like what they're seeing so far. They'll fill it up in 4 tires for the 12.
None of the rest of the top 10 came in, and pits are now closed. Well, look at that top 5, all past winners on road courses in the NASCAR Cup Series. Turn 20 and headed for the green and white checkered flag. Ross Chastain is going to get his 4th stage win on a road course. Briscoe way down the inside. How's that going to work out?
Well, and you got to be careful down on that very far inside because it can be really rough.
Zillage is around.
Wrecker behind you, keep digging for your white middle.
High risk corner, turn 1.
Yeah, and from the first start, we saw the intensity pick up right off the bat right there with those guys in the second stage going into turn 1.
Well, puts that talented 19-year-old at the back and with flat spotted tires to start stage 2.
You see behind him, they've got a hornet's nest back here.
Suarez around the outside of Briscoe. Here's the Brez tree camera on board Austin Dillon. Battling for 7th. Well, he's not pitting. Christopher Bell completed that pass, moves him up to 7th there in front of Dillon and Custer. Let's have a look back at that restart, see what happened to Connor Zillett. Well, we know what happened to him, but maybe we can figure out why up there at Chaos Corner, turn 1.
Yeah, and the 88 is going to get turned around right here.
Can't tell who that is. It got in the back of him. Blue car.
SVG, he had to go all the way through the grass.
Suarez. It was Suarez. 7 got in the back of him. That's a bummer. Come a long way. Yeah, you see Suarez moving to the inside over here. Oh, he clipped him trying to get to the inside of him, didn't he?
Yeah, he just misjudged the front bumper right there.
Hard to believe that nobody else hit him.
Well, we start the process over again.
Yep. From Austin Dillon. Close call there.
I did a great job.
All right, Tyler Reddick is your leader after a bit of a scare for what he thought might be a loose wheel. Here's his radio.
Getting better. It looks like it is locked either way, so if there is a looseness, it should stay consistent. It should. Best we can tell in pictures, the D10's foot locked where it is at a minimum.
D10, that will not let that lug nut come off.
Yeah, it's a locking mechanism that springs up. It's spring-loaded, and as long as that lug nut is behind that locking mechanism, you'll be okay because the wheel will feel tight, even if it's not, but it sounds like that locking mechanism is on the outside of the lug nut. Good to go.
Oh, around goes the 4. Noah Gregson against the wall, and he'll get away.
That's in between 6A and B.
Yeah, and that's the passing zone that we talked about. That was a high risk right there.
Don't do it, right?
Yeah, somebody never comes out on the other side.
Now, he was the last of the drivers that had pitted before the end of the stage and was running 16th when he spun.
And honestly,
and Kyle Larson, the top 5, all of them pitted before stage 1 was over. In fact, all the first 7 cars, and Todd Gilliland in 9th. Of those that pitted after the end of the stage, Shane Van Gisbergen and A.J. Allmendinger have worked their way up into the top 10.
well, I can tell you the one that I like the most, that I think was the biggest benefactor, is right here, Daniel Suarez in a 7 car, running 4th and running good lap times. He was 22nd before the stage end. That is a massive turnaround for their day.
But Brad was able to stay on the lead lap under caution, caught up with the field, and continues. Said Joey Hand is standing by, but Brad says his goal is to run the whole race today.
Yeah, and I think at that point it's just I think it's just a pride thing and a message to your team. Hey, I'm in here to dig as hard as I can. These are obviously not strengths of Brad's in this Gen 7 car and the things that happen on the road course, but you see Joey Hand right there works with a lot of these Ford guys. Jamie?
Yeah, he really does. He even worked with Lane Riggs. He won the truck race yesterday and gave Joey a big shout out. And I talked to Joey about that. He said, I just do what I can during simulation time with these drivers. He's even giving nuggets to Brad Keselowski, who obviously is struggling and the car is not to his liking. But I asked Joey about him maybe getting in the car today, and he goes, you know, I have faith in Brad. He's determined to finish this race, and he goes, I'm just going to wear my shorts out here so I know I'm not getting in the race car.
A lot of finesse through this corner, Clint, right here. You hear him upshift right there at the exit of that sweeper. Really rough on the exit of this corner. Hear the car almost bouncing off the ground right there.
Chasing A.J. Allmendinger, one of NASCAR's best road racers. And he's got a gap back to Michael McDowell behind him. We're going to go for a ride with Chris Buescher. Here's the Trimble foot cam as he makes a move to the inside.
Still there. Still there on your right side. On your corner. Clear.
Passing Cole Custer. Now, Buescher is not your traditional road racer. Watch the hand movement as he goes both hands over to the left side of the wheel in those left turns, has to come back for the shifter. But you know what? It works for him, and that's the important thing.
Well, the thing I'm the most interested in are his feet. And it really shows you how much work that these drivers have to do. And these cars are so sensitive with the modulation of the brake. You see him going into 12 right here. And that's the typical braking style, heavy braking, and then you bleed out. And that lets the front of the car stay loaded to turn. But you'll notice that slow bleed out on those brakes to keep that front end loaded up. Yeah, and you can really notice the way that they bleed out of that brake right here on Christopher Bell's car. But this is the section that is the hardest for the drivers. These S's going into turn 3 right here, you're going downhill the whole time. So you just tap the brake, and then you just load the car back up with the throttle, tap the brake again. Same thing in each S, trying to keep the car planted, and then take the speed that you feel like you can get out of that as you come out of each one of those corners in the S's. Really bumpy right here. Off of 6B down into 12. Oh, see the back of that car slide right there. Wouldn't notice it with his feet. Nothing changed.
I heard it. I didn't have to see it. You could hear it in the earbox. He wasn't very happy at all with his race car after practice. Not the fastest. Huge turnaround for them.
Yeah, and you see Allmendinger closes the door on Chase Briscoe right there. Pretty tight move right there. So his Celsius on board. See that front bumper, Chase Briscoe right on the back of A.J. Allmendinger's car right there. But A.J., he was like, I gotta make this pass right now and finish it.
All right, Chris Buescher is on pit road. So is Alex Bowman. Jesse Love comes in. Denny Hamlin to pit road.
I want you to run hard. Go, 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 go. All the way out, clear, clear. We're going to run hard for a cool lap. See where it comes out.
I do not think you can come back even in that 50-lap stage and win this thing by staying out. Yeah, right now they're in position to collect 8 stage points, but I think they've taken themselves out of the position to win this race.
9 drivers did not stop in these last couple of laps here. Ty Gibbs will get his first stage win on a road course in the NASCAR Cup Series.
Oh, bad roll, wasn't it? Just got over on the sidewall a little bit, took off into the next.
Out of turn 20, and here we go. Headed up the hill for Chaos Corner.
Got him 4 wide.
Nice, clean restart.
Got aggressive there, elbows up. He's not done. Trying to get the position on him.
And doing it the hard way around the outside. Michael McDowell.
Yeah, that's always setting you up for the next corner, which is this one. That's how you get it.
Now there's a fellow who knows about three-peats, Michael Jordan. He's done it, of course, with the round ball, not with the NASCAR Cup car.
He's very accustomed to breaking records, isn't he?
Well, he's also having more fun than he's ever had being a T-motor. Winning the Daytona 500.
Whoa.
Eric Jones around.
Jones was 33rd back there with Bowman, Berry, and Stenhouse. Let's show you what happened in that spin.
Well, you heard
Eric Jones.
All right, he's way out wide. He gets back in. Obviously gets into the 77. I don't know if they called him a quick clear right there or not, but he turned to left right into the door of Hocevar.
The momentum that comes with the victories that he had makes things a lot easier, Clint. The information is easier. You believe in things a lot easier, and when you have that momentum, you just have to ride that wave as far as you can.
You can't make a bad decision when you're on this wave.
Underneath the 45 of Tyler Reddick through the stadium section there. Reddick fending him off, but I'm with you, Clint. I think if that 12 car gets around this 45, he's going to drive off.
And as you say that, Reddick just turned the fastest lap of the race, the last lap. I don't know if he slipped up or what. This 12 car will not go away. 35 was leaning on him a couple times, but you're right. Very fast race car.
Christopher Bell moving up the inside on Kyle Larson, who crosses over and gets to his inside. Here we go.
Still there. Clear.
And Bell emerges.
Yeah, I don't know if there was something that Kyle didn't like about the way that Bell passed him to try to throw that thing back in there.
Those two have been like a magnet to one another all race. They've been beating and banging on each other. Can't get away from one another.
37 drivers started, all still running, all on the lead lap.
Still going at it back here.
Yeah.
Larson and Bell. Oh.
And here comes Kyle Busch, looking at Larson's inside. He wants a piece of this. You got Kyle Busch right there looking to pounce, and Austin Cindric, and Ryan Prix.
Well, I mean, when you race like this and you're throwing haymakers at each other, that just drags everybody else into the race.
Yeah, look in front of them. Nobody.
Side by side again. And Busch to the inside, looking to capitalize. And he gets Bell. Working overtime, figuring strategy with the team engineers, what to do. How about the leader, Regan?
Well, Mike, you talk about that strategy. Part of that is telling your driver what you need out of him. Tyler Reddick, about a lap and a half ago, was told by crew chief Billy Scott that we are going to pit in a handful of laps. I need you to push really hard right now and try to pick up the pace a little bit.
The guy that is the fastest car on the racetrack is Connor Zilic, and two things that they don't want right now, or there's two reasons they don't want a caution. One is they don't want to be behind all the guys that pitted, and two, they don't want to have to race that guy.
He is flying.
Because he is flying.
The track.
And flying on a day that he's had a lot of animosity or a lot of controversy with different situations, and being able to regroup and get himself in a position to make fast laps and be in contention again at the end of this race.
The fastest cars on track on that lap. Zilic, Reddick, Chastain.
Yeah, Connor Zilic, just his 6th career start in the Cup Series, working with a brand new crew chief this year. They're still trying to get to know each other, trying to understand when he says he's tight, what does that mean? How tight is he? Or on the flip side. But today he has had his work cut out for him, started 25th. You guys mentioned his issues earlier, going around, flat spotting the tires, having to drive through the pack again. But his car is good, and this kid is focused, not saying anything on the radio.
Well, Randall Burnett, longtime crew chief. 21 laps to go. Ross Chastain has come undone. He makes it somehow to pit road. after a big slide through the gravel. And no right rear wheel. Oh, there it is.
I've been listening to Alex Bowman, and he's been saying he is sick all race long. He finally just pulled it in. And at the same time, that man right there, Myatt Snyder, is my pit spotter. He's been helping me today. Chad Knaus came up to him and me and said, is it okay if Myatt gets in this race car? And I said, absolutely. So here we are. So Alex is out of the car. Myatt now, he races in the O'Reilly series. He's going to get in Alex Bowman's car and try to salvage some points. Strange turn of events here.
Here's Bowman's radio from earlier.
We'll run as long as we can. Your call on you. Don't do anything permanent damage yourself, whatever you got going on here. Yeah, pretty well here, buddy. Buddy, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Blake told you a few laps ago, it's your call. It is your call.
All right, so Reddick is the leader. Ryan Blaney is second. He has been looking at Reddick's back bumper for the last 20 laps, and now he's looking at it again. Not happy about it.
Why did we come with the 45? I don't know why we did that. They're going to call me super late, or they can't hear it, or something. I can sit behind them all day. Can't pass them. I was hoping we'd get a lap on them, or we'd beat them on pit road.
Back to green. Van Gisbergen looking really low. And Reddick covers the bottom. Two cars spin.
Around.
Zane Smith has spun.
Connor Zilic.
And Connor Zilic.
Again. How about this?
Van
There he is. They got him past for second.
Tyler Reddick trying to drive away from Van Gisbergen with Blaney now third. And see what happened to Connor Zilic and Zane Smith.
It's an unfortunate situation. If you look here, you can see Zilic on the outside, and all of a sudden the dive bombs start coming, but it's actually the 11 gets in the 24, into the 2, into the 38, and then into the 88 is exactly what happened. But that's a product of being on that outside. You can see he's way out here, but watch the 11 get into the 24, turns him right into Cindric, into Zane Smith, boom.
Yeah.
There he is finally. Man, that's an unfortunate thing. That's a really good car, drove all the way back up through the field and gets wiped out again at the top of the hill.
Now we're riding with Zane Smith. He was the fourth of 5 cars up to the right of the initial contact. And he's going to get himself a top 25 finish out of this. And still recovering from that broken leg. Attaboy. Oh, little bumper tag there. Oh, no! Kyle Busch got into Jesse Love, who got into Chris Buescher, who got off track at turn 20, but continues. All right, Chris Buescher got the worst of it in this one.
Yeah, and the 8 and 33 teammates had been going at it, and then Kyle looked to pass him, and Jesse shut the door, and Kyle didn't like it and shoved him out of the way. And unfortunately, Chris Buescher was right there and got spun out. Where Kyle Busch is frustrated because Jesse Love, his teammate, is running in front of him, and Jesse Love went down to block him, and Kyle didn't like it and shoved him up out of the groove, which spun the other car out. I want you to watch these cars go through the S's the next time, Clint. As they go through those S's,
That's Shane's strong suit.
it is, because this is where that street course and all the road racing skill comes together. He's cutting those tire barriers closer. Same thing coming off the 6B. He's able to get closer to the wall in the tire packs, and that's where he's making up a lot of this time.
Reddick.
Yeah,
You want to talk about answering that call? Look at that. 140.93 to a 141.10. Reached down and got him some that last lap. Fantastic lap last time by Reddick. Putting it all together.
Reddick's got the drive off and the straightaway speed. I think Van Gisbergen's best shot is at the end of the S's, 6 or maybe 6A. Larson battling cooling suit issues all day on the hottest race day of the year so far.
He's earned that paycheck today. He'll be whooped.
His teammate, William Byron, who's had a lot of success here, and Chase Elliott, multiple road course winner. 3 of the 4 Hendrick cars, nose to tail, 7, 8, and 9. And Denny Hamlin who has yet to finish top 10 in 5 starts at COTA. If he can hang on to that spot right there, he will today.
Well, I think he would have that same reaction as the tone in your voice when you said Denny Hamlin top 10. He would be just as surprised with the struggles they've had here.
All right, here's some radio from the second place car.
Just have no speed, sorry. Just got a grip in comparison.
I think Van Gisbergen's run out of grip.
I think he said no speed, no grip in comparison to Reddick, and the windshield dyno's backing that up.
And that's kind of been the complaint that he's had all day, is just that lateral grip. As we look back through the field at the Hendrick cars, they definitely haven't had the type of day that we've seen them have on some of the road courses in some of the years of domination that they've had, but solid day for all of them.
I put that on that team. Billy Scott and company, Tyler Reddick driving that thing, got up on the wheel, put the thing on the pole, got the clean air track position that he's had all race long, and it's made everybody try to go through him, and they can't do it.
Yeah, you see Blaney struggling right there with the back of the car.
And the worse he gets mired back in traffic, I've seen wheel lockups and stuff like that, frustration setting in. It's too bad. They've had a fantastic weekend.
So Larson moves up to 6th. Hard to believe Hendrick Motorsports has only one top 10 finish this year coming into COTA. They're going to get 3 more here, it looks like.
And we would expect, as you see those guys trading some paint right there, we would expect those Hendrick cars to come back and even that number up as we start getting to some of these races. I think that Daytona...
It's on their side.
And think about this, Clint and Mike. When we started practice, we were like, uh-oh, Toyotas are awful. They're in big trouble. And then we got to qualifying, and Tyler Reddick had said, you know, a lot of that, some of that's going to be on me. But they got their cars right, made big adjustments from the things that they did from that start of that practice to where they started to where they are right now and dominating this race. That's why you just got to watch the progression of the weekend and see where it all goes, because you never know.
His teammate Bubba Wallace is 12th. If he can gain 2 more spots, 23-11 might just have 3 races with both drivers in the top 10. 148 laps led coming into today. That total is now 202. 5 top 10s out of 6 starts coming into COTA. Bubba Wallace 12th, Riley Herbst 22nd. It'll be a pretty good day here for 23-11.
Went back 3 to go, still pulling. Yep, drove away along that lap. Pitch marks, they just won.
And the thing that he doesn't want to hear right now, caution.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't
no.
say that.
That's the only thing that you do not want to hear on your radio right now.
I can't believe you just said that.
Well, in the end, I just blame it on you.
Exactly what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Fastest car on track that lap was Ty Gibbs. In 4th, 6.25 seconds off the lead. But he's making some inroads on Christopher Bell, his teammate. JGR also only had 1 top 10 finish in the first 2 races this year. And it looks like they're in position to get 3 more. With Bell 3rd, Gibbs 4th, and Hamlin 10th. Now in the middle of the first stage, Tyler Reddick, who started from pole, fell to 8th in the middle of that stage and then regrouped.
Yeah, and you know, he came across the radio at that time and talked about not taking off hard enough and felt like he gave up too much time at the beginning of that stage. But once they learned the pace that they needed to run, how hard they needed to push, since that point, it has been lights out, Mike.
Well, 2 drivers, each trying to extend a streak to record numbers. Reddick trying to win the first 3 of the year, and Van Gisbergen in second, Reddick trying to win 6 straight road course events. He's tied for the record with 5. 6 would make it all his. And they run 1-2.
This is that important lap, Kevin. Just get me around there to that white flag as fast as possible.
Well, Shane's gave it a valiant effort today. I think all weekend they just haven't quite had the car where they want it to be to keep up with Reddick. Tyler Reddick's had the dominant car, led a bunch of laps again today, and they did a great job all weekend getting themselves back into the game.
You know, we talked at the top of the day about the 3 different segments of this racetrack and how very different they are from each other. And in segments 2 and 3, that's where Van Gisbergen really shows his road race craft on the technical section of the S's and then sliding through the stadium section. But on that long front straightaway, getting off turn 20, getting through turn 1 of the S's, that's where Tyler Reddick has had everybody covered.
I think his biggest strength is the exit of turn 20, and that really makes it look good down the front straightaway. I don't think they're hurting for horsepower or anything, but it really makes it look good because of how well he can get that car pointed on the exit.
And it all started when he decided, I'm going to go out here and put this baby on the pole, get this clean air, and we're going to stay there. That's exactly what he did.
Out of turn 20, back to this long uphill front straightaway.
White flag, no pressure out back.
Tyler Reddick brings it to the white flag. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank.
So impressive. There's a lot of things in this race that's impressed me. Obviously, Billy Scott. Kevin, you and I have worked with him before. I think a lot of him. Smart man.
And they give him all the resources that he needs. You think about Michael Jordan, you think about Denny Hamlin, Billy Scott, all these guys, those are the same names that we've been saying for several years now. And when you have that continuity as a group and you go through a year of not having the success that you want, and you can have those hard conversations and things that they
Whoa! Hocevar, front straightaway, slides from turn 20, halfway up the straightaway and into the wall.
Watch for the caution.
He can back it away, and he's going to get going. Whew, we're going to stay green. Hocevar was 31st. Got off in that dirt at the end of the exit off of turn 20, and the car spun on him. Okay, Hart, restart.
Yeah.
Let's finish this off.
They wouldn't have minded it coming out now if you're Billy Scott and Michael Jordan. Believe it or not, I can't believe he's going to have to stay, Kevin. Cannot miss a race now.
Guess we'll see him in Phoenix.
Well, they said this could not be done. Winning the first 3 races of a NASCAR season. No one has ever done it. Not since 1949. It happens today. 3-peat for Tyler Reddick. 23-11 in Toyota.
Guys, great work.
Shane Van Gisbergen second. Christopher Bell, Michael McDowell, Kyle Larson, Elliott by inches over Blaney for 7th. Allmendinger 9th, and Denny Hamlin gets his first top 10 at COTA.
That's a butt whooping, Kevin.
That's a statement, and you talk about the 2 racetracks that we raced on in Atlanta and Daytona and how many things have to work out for you to win. When you come here, this is a driver's track, a team track, and putting it all together says a lot about where they are from a performance standpoint today.
The last driver to win 3 straight in the Cup Series was Christopher Bell last spring. Both of them had a COTA win as part of their 3 in a row.
I was impressed with a lot of things. Obviously, Tyler Reddick in their car. Van Gisbergen put on a show as we thought he would. I'm a believer in his Illich, Kevin. His finish isn't going to be there. We're not going to see that on a stat sheet.